Sales communication process is vital to the success of every business. It is the ability to effectively apply sales communication that enable many business to generate hundreds of thousands, millions, and possibly billions of dollars annually. But in spite of the fact that there's a lot of information about the important use of sales communication process and the effective use of sales communication process, we still have millions of business that fail. And the statistics are showing that every year we have 20% of business startups that fail. By year five, you have 50%. And by year 10, you have 70% of businesses that are starting, that are failing. You only have a 30% survival. What if those 70% of businesses that are failing really take the time to understand sales communication process? Today, what I will attempt to do is to introduce to my audience research that we are doing and systems that we have developed in an interest of helping businesses to truly understand the sales communication process and to give you and your departments the support that you need to effectively apply the sales communication process in an effort to optimize your business potential to cash flow. Now, there are four important takeaways that it is necessary that you get when we talk about the sales communication process. Now, on the screen, I'm going to put up a slide. And the very first concept that you want to take away here is to recognize that one is a sales process and there's a communication process. And it is necessary for you and your department to take the time to understand the major differences between the sales process and the communication process. It is your understanding of this, the clarity of understanding of this, that will put you in a much better position of strength to be able to leverage the sales communication process to optimize sales and to accelerate the growth and cash flow of your business. The third concept that is there on the slide, we talk about the pull effects of sales communication or the pull factors of sales communication. And yes, there are two factors. There's the pull factors of sales communications, and there are the push factors of sales communication. So you have one which is the pull factors of sales communication, and the last is the push factors of sales communication. Now, you owe it to yourself and your sales department to ensure that they have a clear mental picture of everything that is being said here today. We've spent the last 20 plus years digging into this research and implementing systems, testing these programs, and assessing the results. And this is exactly one of the reasons why we have decided to expand our operation to the North American market, a very big market. You have an excess of 332 million persons in that population and a whole lot of businesses. As time progresses, I'll talk some more about that. But let's get back to the sales communication process. Now, some of the importance of the sales communication process, and let's take the first aspect of it. We're talking about what is the sales process? What exactly is the sales process? The very first concept. Now, traditionally, you bring in a team member, you provide some degree of training, but what is it that you expect that sales agent, that sales representative to do for you? And these are things that you want to be very, very clear of. We have developed a blueprint that really helps you to apply the systems that we're giving to you with clinical precision that enables you to achieve greater results. But I want to dig in a little deeper into the clinical decision, and then I'll come back to the sales communication process. Any attempt to optimize the positive results of sales, it is important to understand the foundation on which all sales should be based on. And I repeat, in order to increase the chance of making a sale, It is necessary for you and your team to understand the foundation upon which all sales should be based on. So on the screen, we talk about the pull factors of sales communication. And over a period of time, over the next few days, we're going to go very deep into this. It is necessary for you to understand things like demographic data. And I'll talk about that a bit later on. You also need to take the time to understand psychographic data. It's not enough to say that you understand your target market. You may understand the target group, but do you really understand your target market that you are pitching to, that you're preparing to make that sales to? And if you do not understand the psychographic data of the target market, it means that you really do not understand your demographics. You understand a group of person that you're targeting, but to understand the group of person that you're targeting and perhaps their income bracket, does that means that you understand the demand pull of those target market. It doesn't mean that you understand the economic and behavioral determinants of that target market. Now, to make sale with precision, clinical decision, it's important for you and your sales team to understand these important data. The third element that I will talk about today is the geographical data. And this is so important. It's so important because, again, we see that very often you have an assumption of who's your target market. You have an assumption of what are their psychographic data, and you also have an assumption of where they are geographically located. And because the fact that you're doing everything based on assumption, it is undermining your sales, your potential to make sales with a clinical precision. And the clinical precision really enables you to make the sale. Now, to optimize your chance at all three of these data that we have just talked about, it is ultimately based on the foundation of what we call market intelligence data. So, the entire exercise that we're going to be going into here in terms of the sales communication process, it is based on those four elements I've just discussed with you. It is necessary that you take the time to understand demographic data. It is necessary that you take the time to understand psychographic data. It is necessary that you take the time to understand geographic data. And all of this rests on the shoulders of market intelligence data. Now, if you're attempting to do sales, if you have a business and you're not clear about these things that I'm talking about now, the possibility exists that you're doing your business with a blindfold over your eyes. You're speculating, you're guessing. And in business, you need to take the guesswork out of business. Here is where you need to throw away the baby and the bathwater if you're going to be speculating. Now, let us do a further deep dive into today's program. Now that we have laid the groundwork, I want to talk a little bit now about what I call the sales process. What is the sales process? Now, it is the dreams, the hopes, the aspiration of the sales department that you are able to make the sale. To make the sale, first of all, you must be able to command attention. Some may say grab attention. In some of my earlier books, I say grab attention. But it is necessary for you to have some strategy, some system that is intentionally built out to grab attention, to command attention. Now, your ability to grab attention or command attention doesn't mean that you're piquing interest. So you also need to have a clear system that once you grab attention, you're able to instantly pique interest. And the third is arouse desire. The fourth is move the client into action. And here is where we talk about the 5-second rules of sales communication, because all of these things you want to accomplish in the shortest window possible. As we go deeper into sales communication processes, I will help you to better understand these techniques that we're talking about. So once you command attention, pique interest, arouse desire, move the clients into action, the next step you want to be certain that you have everything set up to make impact All right. The stage must be set for you to make impact. If the stage is not set for you to make impact, it means that you have a lost opportunity in terms of communicating the information and achieving the desired results. And here again is where so many businesses fail, because what you do the push sale. The push sale is different. When you apply the pull factors of sales communication, when you apply these factors effectively, it's different. The stage is all well set up because you understand the demographic, you understand the psychographics, you understand the geographic data, and you understand all of this because you're leveraging the right market data. So when you leverage the right market data, and you're able to grab attention, pique interest, arouse desire, move the client interaction, make impact, you're able now to convert. And here's where we talk about converting first-time users into lifetime customer. This process is not accidental. This process is intentional, which means that you literally have to understand the entire ecosystem that we're talking about here to optimize your effects, your results when it comes to applying the sales communication process. So, right now, we're looking at the sales process. You need to understand this. Now, once you're able to convert, and not just convert for one-time users, but the aim is to convert first-time users into lifetime customers, you need to have the other foundation laid out where you're building confidence, you're building trust, and you're building credibility. And over a period of time, I will go into each one of these factors of the sales process to ensure that you have greater clarity and you're now better able to apply these data to your business and possibly move your business where it becomes a six, seven-figure earner or perhaps a multi-billion-dollar earner. So we've talked here about the sales process. But remember the yin yang, you have the sales process on the sales communication and you have the communication process. Do you understand the communication process? It's necessary and important for you to align these two concepts next to each other and to be able to apply them the way they ought to be applied to ensure that you're getting the results that you want. And the results that you want increased visibility, you want increased reach, you want increased impact, you want increased conversion, you move into cash flow maximization. This is the ultimate aim of the sales communication process. And if you apply these systems well, in your business. So the communication process is necessary for you to understand. And there are a number of important factors for you to understand about a communication. First of all, communication is a two-way cycle. There's message, but first of all, there's a sender, there's a receiver, there is a message. If you look at the screen, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. In your communication process, you need to take the time to understand your receiver. And understanding your receiver, it means that you're going beyond demographic data, but you're going into psychographic data. Now, as you design the messaging content, this has to be based on psychographic data. If you're not leveraging psychographic data in the communication process, again, it's a missed opportunity. Now, let's take a look at the channels. There are multiple channels that are available to you in the communication process. You have mass media, you have social media, you have the metaverse, you have independent communication channel. Now, it's important for you not just to place your messaging content in these communication channel, because the communication channel has to be relevant to your target market. And the only way you understand the relevance is when you look back at everything that we talked about in the earlier slide. We did talk about the pull factors of sales communication. You need to understand the demographics. You need to understand the psychographics. You need to understand the geographic. And here is where, as you take the time to understand the effectiveness of the channel, it plays a little bit on the geographics. You want to know the reach of the communication channel, and you want to know that reach is enabling you to reach your ideal client. It's not just giving you visibility, because visibility is not reach. Reach is not impact. Impact, if it's not right, is not conversion. So all of these factors are necessary when you are deploying yourself into sale. I must do emphasize this. We place tremendous emphasis on the pull factors of sales communication. And this is why it is so necessary to go to the ground to get all the information that we're talking about. But guess what? Once you get this data that is really relevant to the pull factors of sales communication, it makes it easier in the push factors of sales communication. And people who are very good with the push factors of sales communication is people like Grant Cardone. He has become a multimillionaire. I believe now he's a billionaire, largely because he has been applying the push factors of sales communication. Now, as you build out this, as you identify the communication channel, it's necessary that you recognize that there will be noise in those channels, whether depending on if you're using mass communication, social media, metaverse, or independent communication channel. You need to be aware of noise and quickly figure out how you're going to remove those noise or most of the noise, because the objective of removing the noise is to enable you to get your message across very clearly, very accurately, so as to ensure that you're grabbing attention, piquing interest, arousing desire, moving the client into action, making impact, converting first-time users into lifetime customers, building confidence, trust, and credibility. The faster you're able to get the noise out of the way is the better you're going to be able to achieve the results that you want, which is everything I've just talked about: customer conversion, cash flow maximization. So now once the message is in, you remove the noise. That message now has to be decoded by the receiver. The message has to be decoded by the receiver. Means that the message is tailored in such a way, taking the psychographic factors that we have talked about. So from the time the messenger, the receiver receives the message and starts to decode that message, they immediately align to the content that they are looking at, the content that they are reading, the content that they are listening to. All of this is intentional design. It's not accidental design. So if you're doing sale and you do not have this sales communication process, again, it may means that you're doing sales with that blindfold over your eyes. And you want to remove that veil that enables you to have a clear mental picture of what you're doing, why you're doing it, what you want to achieve, and how to achieve it. The last thing here that we're going to be looking at is the feedback, the feedback mechanism. If you're not getting feedback in the sales communication process, it means that there is a problem with the sales communication process. Remember, I said early on, communication, sales communication is a two-way process where a sender is communicating a message. That message has to be received, decoded, and you expect a feedback. It is by creating these systems and ensuring that they are properly systemized, and you and your sales department are complying with these processes. It is what is going to enable you to achieve the highest results when it comes to the sales communication process. So I really trust that today's information was helpful, was useful. And we have started the first part of this program as we go into the sales communication process. And over the next few days, we will be going deeper and deeper into this analysis. All right, so I trust that you had a lot to take away with. I want to emphasize this point. If you, your sales department, are applying the sales communication process and you're not taking the time to understand the four systems that we've just talked about. What is the sales process? What is the communication process? What are the pull factors of sales communication? And what are those push factors of sales communication? It means that you may have a veil over your eyes. And this again, if you want to optimize the cash flowing potential of your business, you need to divorce yourself from this practice and ensure that you're taking practical steps, leveraging critical information that will enable your business to achieve more in a shorter period of time. The systems that we're talking about are systems that enable businesses to 10x and leapfrog the cash flowing potential of their businesses. We at Pitch Deck 101, we are working with businesses across the world, in Australia, in the UK, in Canada, in the United States of America. And today we want to work with you. So we have a free offer. Reach out to us right now and let us work with you to do a free diagnostic in your sales department. And we're going to help you, zero cost, to develop these systems within your organization. For a period of time, we're going to provide the training to you and your team so as to ensure that we help your business to move much faster in its potential to cash flow maximize. I trust you would have enjoyed today's program. My name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the self-published author for several books, including 10x Branding and Marketing Blueprint, The Psychology of Money, and so much more. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this podcast. For those who are on YouTube, press that bell so you will be first to be notified when this content comes out on a daily basis. Be blessed and see you in the next broadcast.